Hello farmers and welcome back to Kinlaig on the Highland fishing expansion. It's a Friday and hopefully everyone's Friday is going well. Hello Miles and Bob, welcome. Just standing out here in front of our Highland cattle, just been watching them for the last minute or so. And yeah, we are in the month of March. Time to get some spring planting done. But before we can do that, I'm at negative 38,000 in the bank account, so I need to take care of that before I got at least a onion planter to start the day and get the onions planted. So in order to lease something, well, I need some cash, so we'll get started on that. Plus, I need some wood into the sawmill as well. So let's go ahead and get started and get to work. I was going to sell some silage, and maybe I should. I don't have a full forage wagon's worth of silage, but if I were to sell it, how much would that be worth? 8,000. Don't think it's worth my trip going on down there, honestly. The sawmill has a whole bunch of stuff to sell, so that's where we're going to get most of our money. Where is, I just realized, I have no idea where my semi is. It's probably somewhere. Yeah, it's probably somewhere. That's a good assessment of things. Where are we at? Well, it is at the sawmill, so since we're here, I guess we'll just go grab this stuff and we will go ahead and take care of it now before I bring wood here. Let's get this all loaded up. Probably load it and unload it a couple times because it's going to stack rather horribly, I think. I'm going to have about 20 pallets each of wood beams and planks long, and a lot of wood chips as well. But this alone should get me above $0. Yeah, just keep on loading. All right, I'm going to unload and start reloading right now. Hello, Callie Mom, welcome, and Ghost Tech Gaming, welcome. Has your contracts messed up yet? Nope, I have no problem with contracts on this map currently. But I'm only doing, for the most part, I'm just doing fertilizing contracts, plowing contracts, and herbicide spraying contracts. I don't really do planting contracts or harvesting contracts. I don't feel like they're worth my time. I mean, they pay well, but it's the length of time it takes to get that payment rather than doing fertilizing, spraying, or plowing. Alright, so wood chips need to go in here. Alright, all the wood chips are gone, which is great. Well, they're not gone. They're just in the silo now. So we got 20,000 liters of planks long and 13,000 liters of wood beams. Again, I'm not bringing up to the castle because the castle has a good amount of all that material. So we're just going to go ahead and sell this. We will visit the stonemason in just a second and go deliver that to the stone castle. Get some more cash out of there. Yeah, so far in my contracts, I've had 0 issues with contracts on Kinlaig. So I'm not really looking at the price. I'm just bringing him to where I have been bringing him to. Figure it's close enough. So this year, when I plant the onions, I have to make sure we get all the onions harvested when they are ready. No skipping a month and getting the second half of the field in another month because, well, that is a problem I did have. My onions withered even though it was still in a harvest season, which seemed kind of weird, but so be it. Forgotten how much lot 60 is again. Lot 60 is about 450,000. I think roughly, I can check here in just a second. But I think it's like 450,000, somewhere around there. And the only thing on there is currently is the windmill to build. It's just a lot of hilly farmland. I don't want to say farmland. It's going to be kind of hard to farm there. But yeah, it's like 450,000, so that's why I haven't purchased it yet. Ooh, I got no more space for wool at the sheep pen. Well, it might be a good day to sell the wool, too. We are in March, but the price is going to be better in April and May. Sell all these goodies. There we go. Now I'm up to 50,000 back into the bank account. Let me just double check on lot number 60. I think it's like 450,000. Let's see, lot 60. That's where the windmill is. So that's down here. Lot 60 is $457,056. Or pounds, or whatever currency you use. Yeah, 450,000. Oh boy, my driving's rough. Yeah, it's going to be a rough day. I'm not feeling the best today. But we're here anyways. We got to get the work done. The work must go on. I think I'll actually bring this back to the farm. I'll get started on some onion planting and get one of the fields taken care of. April will be a big month. We'll have to harvest both of our grass fields. Both grass fields technically are ready for harvest today, but of course, as we saw, if we wait another month and get to the final harvest stage, we will get that much more grass. But we'll have the grass fields to harvest in April, and then, of course, we'll have our soybeans to plant. Which does remind me, though, I do need to get down because we bought some property yesterday down by the sawmill. We merged two of our fields together. The new one we just bought along with our soybean field. That requires some lime to be put into it, so need to get down there and put some lime in. Maybe I'll get a worker to do that while we're planting the onions. I guess I'll grab, the Massey Ferguson to go put the lime down. And yes, I need to get some trees down to that mill. Got to keep that sawmill going. But let's just put this here. Alright, let's grab the Massey Ferguson. We'll get the Burrito lime spreader, and we'll get a worker to put some lime down in that field. Massey Ferguson's either going to be parked by the plow. Yes, it is. Yeah, I realize it's pounds in Scotland, but I never change my currency in the game. Because it doesn't, changing the currency doesn't actually change anything technically in the game. The price is a price. Just got to move that to the side there. How much lime do we have here? Well, it doesn't matter. I should just top it off anyways. Because I would hate to get down there thinking I have enough and then not have enough. And my tractors, I gotta start thinking about refueling them at some point. Starting to get a little bit low on some of them. Just ignore Sam there. Sam's all fine. Hello, Panther. Welcome. Hope you're having a good Friday. Yeah, so the castle, if you haven't been here recently, we are on, which looks like the last building, but yet we're only halfway through the steps, so I'm not too sure how that's going to go near the end. Thought my beacons were on, must have double tapped the button. So that field to our right, that's our onion field. kind of a good start to today. I mean, we're at negative 38,000, but now after selling all of our wood products, we're at almost 47,000. Once our oak trees, as I have said, get up to full growth, then we can start putting wood in a lot easier. I'll activate prefab walls and maybe even planks so we can really produce out of that sawmill and bring in the cash. Because, yeah, I would like to buy lot number 60 so I can start building the windmill. But, yeah, I need like $500,000, so it's getting kind of rough to get up to $500,000 when you got a $50,000 loan payment every month. I think today's going to be a little bit slower paced than yesterday. I realized after the stream, I think yesterday I was rushing around quite a bit. I think today's going to be more of a very slow paced day. Because that's about the speed I can go. Very slow paced. Now that I own this field up here, I should have a gate. Yes, we got a gate right here. Lovely. Just trying to see in the future if I want to bring in my harvester and header, and probably have the same problem as I do at the other gate. May have to destroy some crop or take down a hedge somewhere. Alright, temporary course. You go that way. 18 meter, 2 headlands, 2% overlap, looks good. Alright, get one of the Franks on the job. And that will take them only 10 minutes to spread lime in this field. It did. I hope it did the whole field. Yeah, we got that $8 million loan, so even on a 20-year loan, it's a $50,000 a payment per night. And again, that is payment on interest and also on the loan. So we are paying back the loan as each month passes, but yeah, it's $50,000 a night for that. And yeah, they are doing the whole field. All right, goody goody. All right, so onions next. Let's take care of the onion field. So we need to scroll on down to onion planters. And just go ahead and lease that. And let's hop into... Well, the T8 is the one I hopped into, so let's go ahead and just go down and grab that. So this planter only seeds, it does not fertilize, so I have to fertilize the field after the crop grows, which is not a problem. But yeah, as each year passes though, because we are slowly expanding the farm with more land, which means more crop, which means I'll get more productivity out of it. I'll get the words out. Yeah, we should be making more profit per month this year. But I mean, the way we started out here, kind of the good thing about it is we got most of the equipment that I need, so it's not like I need to save up for a big harvester or any really big stuff. We got most of it. So we can, any money that we do accumulate over time, we can put into buying some land or maybe some equipment that we might need. But this year we'll have a lot more soybeans, which means we should be able to make a lot more fish food, which of course in turn will give us a lot more fish. Which also reminds me, I need to go down to the fish food production and grab that fish food that we have made. I'm not sure if we're still making some, but we got to grab the fish food that has been made and get that down to the young fish production. I probably called it the wrong production again, but you know what I'm talking about. To make the young fish. So we don't need a whole lot of seed because it's a veggie that we're planting, and vegetables do not take a whole lot of seed to plant. And we got some seed pallets still left out. $27 liters of seed, more than enough. I shouldn't say more than enough. I think it's just barely enough, actually. All right, lower that down, whip it on. Do you know if Giants are going to put the onions into the Ropa 6 harvester or not? Not base game. I would assume, obviously, if anything that was base game for onions, they would have done it on release. But with Giants, sometimes you never know. But do expect some updates to mods. I would assume, like in the next week or so, you might see some updates to... I forgot the name of the mod that I have. Is that the Tiger 6X root crop mod, the Ropa Tigris premium mod? I'm guessing this will probably get updated to it so it can do onions. But I do not keep track of the mods and testing list to know how far back or however far away they are from getting things out. I'm pretty sure they're getting swamped with mods in the past couple of weeks because of the updates that they have brought. And a lot of the updates to the game, a lot of mods need to be updated before they can work. So we have reached year number 3 here on the farm. I think the first 2 years have went well. The only mishap we have had is right here in this onion field last year. Yeah, even though it says you can harvest onions in September, I guess if you plant them in the first month, you only get 1 month to harvest them. If you plant them in the second month, then you won't be able to harvest them until the second month. When the onions are ready for harvest, they're only good for that 1 month, it looks like. So, yeah, this year, we'll not make the same mistake. We'll get it all harvested in one go. Which is a shame because I lost about 60,000 liters of onions in the field. And that would have made a lot of fried onions. But live and learn. Also, just an FYI, I did post a rather short video this morning for Project Motor Racing. We had a little bit more of in-game footage to show off of a Porsche 911 GT going around the racetrack. And that is a game I will be streaming in a couple of weeks. About 2 more weeks, I think. Because today's like what? Today's like the 7th of November? Yeah, so I got about 2 more weeks. Alright, so I gotta start thinking about what I gotta do here for the month of March. I was already thinking ahead to April what I need to do, but in March, that soybean field, getting the lime spread on it, so that's off my checklist. We're getting the onions put in, and we gotta get the sawmill. We gotta get some wood into the sawmill, and get the fish food delivered over as well. Because that's important, because the fish are sold in July, so the sooner I get them over there, the better. See, I was trying to start saving up some money for the windmills. We can start building that. I don't know what else I would do with that land. It's just not... It's not land over there that looks like you can just dig up and make into a field. It's not very forgiving for that, from what I remember looking at it. No, John did mention that this weekend he'll be having some guests over. So he'll probably be hit or miss, and also will be showing up late. So I told him it was unacceptable, and looks like he did not heed my warning. He'll probably show up late if he gets the chance. If not, well then, we'll be here when he does get a chance. Just want to make sure my worker is still on the move down by the sawmill. It looks like they are. They're still moving down there. Also, in about 3 more months' time, we will be selling our first set of Highland cattle. Their value is actually starting to drop, but they are close to having some more offspring, so we're just waiting for them to have another set of offspring, and we'll sell those, those cattle when they do. It just does not seem like beef cattle are worth it, honestly, for what they sell for. And how much food you give them throughout all the 3 years that they've been here. It doesn't seem like you get your money back on beef cattle. They need to raise their price on it. It's almost as bad as horses, it seems like. Unlike dairy cattle, you know, you get all that milk, and boy, you can make a lot of stuff if you have the dairy production. Alright, so they're done spreading lime in that field, so that should be all set for planting soybeans next month. No, I'm not putting another pasture in. We've already had some offspring in the cow pasture. We got plenty of room for a lot more cows in the cow pasture. I was doing that for the horses because we didn't have room. The horse stables were full, so that's why we had 2 horse pastures. I think this cow barn with the pasture that we got can hold like 130 cattle, and we got like 40. So we got plenty of room. And no, I don't plan on getting some milking cows in the cow barn with them and getting a dairy production going. We've done that enough. I'm just going to go ahead and tab to the Massey Ferguson so it gets rid of the notification that the worker's done. And the workers should not be in there. Yep, they're gone. So we're all set. Alright. Now we can get back to planting our onions. Homemade chili with sweet potato cornbread. That's what I'll be having after the stream is homemade chili. Although I do need to head to the grocery store at some point. I haven't been in about 10 days. But I hate going to a grocery store on a Friday evening. Although it's not too bad anymore where I live because the summer is gone. I kind of live out by a couple of lakes. And a lot of people have lake houses. So going to the grocery store on a Friday usually kind of sucks because you get all the people coming up from the cities going to their lake houses. So they stop at the grocery store before they go there, of course. But now that winter is approaching, lake houses, people are not really going there. I don't think it's fun going to a lake house when it's, you know, near freezing temperatures. You want to get up that stone wall there, sir? See your grass field by the farm, you plow and place the grass. Would that update your score? Is my score bad in that grass field? I don't think it's that bad. It's not showing nitrogen or pH. That's the problem with that grass field. But when I cut it next month, it'll be just fine. Because I made the mistake of fertilizing that grass field once, and I over-fertilized it. I fertilized it the day I harvested the grass, which is not what you want to do. So over-fertilized it, so I had to wait until the fertilizer went back down, which it now is. But we have taken care of the pH and fertilizer in that field, so when we cut it in April, that score is going to go back up. The tillage score, the weed score, and the soil sampling score in that field is about as best as it can be. It's kind of nice working with small implements because something I don't usually do. But I was kind of hoping when I came to Highland that the fields maybe were just a bit smaller for this kind of small equipment, but we'll make do. Kind of Kind of looking for a map like Solendra that I did in FS22 with nothing but very small fields. Hello, Lindsay. Welcome. Yeah, since we kind of know now about the onions that even though the calendar shows that they're harvestable for 2 months, when they are ready, you better harvest them when they are. I just got the base game harvester set up for the onions, the cheap one. As I said, if the Ropa Tiger 6S or S6, whatever the model number is, if that mod gets updated for onions, we'll probably be looking into that. Well, I kind of like the small fields because it makes you start using the small equipment. I don't want to say going back to basics, but if I keep playing on the same size maps, we always end up, well, at least I always end up using kind of roughly the same equipment over and over again. You hardly ever see me with a small tractor on the farm because for all the work that we're doing on this, like a farm this size, a small tractor doesn't really help you out too much. So getting a map like Solendra, if you didn't watch my FS22 series on Solendra, a very small map, all the fields were small, and I think even on that map though I did where nothing could be over 200 horsepower. So even the combine I got lucky, I found a combine on the mod hub that was like 195 horsepower, so we just barely got by there. And I tried doing horses on that farm too, so that didn't help. The only thing that helped me on the map of Solendra was we had sheep, and we had the spinnery that was on the map, and that's where we made the money. Yeah, getting a small map, I would like to be able to use like a lot of small equipment, because I haven't used it. I haven't played on a small enough map yet. And even if I start on a map like this with just the basics, I find it hard to convince myself to buy a small tractor and small implement, because my thought process is, why buy it? I'll just lease it for like the first year, wait for the farm to earn enough money, and then I'll be buying at least a good medium-sized one to get the job done before we finally upgrade it to the final step. So I find it hard for myself to use the smaller stuff on a farm size like this. Especially when you got big enough fields, you don't want to be using small implements. What like is Sri Lanka on 25? Not sure I understand the question. But I did about 5 episodes on Sri Lanka in 22. And that is the map that came out when they introduced the parsnips, carrots, and red beet. The map just seemed rather open to me, but looking back at it, that is a map that is probably not a bad one to kind of create your own farm per se, because it is a lot of open space, but there's a lot of fields, so Not like New Hope, to where there's only a couple of fields to do contract work in and build your own farm. We could, start on Zalanka and just start doing some contracts and then start building our farm wherever we choose to. Didn't seem like there was that many trees on Zalanka. And I kind of like a map with a decent amount of trees. Not just for forestry work, but for a scenic view. I think I'll make a couple more passes and I'll just take a little bit of a break from planting the onions. Of course, we'll come back and finish it up this month. But I think after a couple more passes, we'll grab the semi, go grab the fish food to make sure we get that into that production. Maybe bring back the Massey Ferguson just to split up the work a little bit. Actually, when I bring back the Massey Ferguson, I'll probably go around the other way. When I go past the fuel depot, we'll stop in and top that off with some fuel. So like always, no weeds in this field because we plowed it. And really the center of the field should not need fertilizer because we didn't harvest the crop. So actually, like right about here, it's probably going to say nitrogen is fine because, yeah, we didn't harvest the onions that were here. I don't know if plowing in the onions added more fertilizer to the ground or not, but if it did, not much I could do about it. Want to get a couple more passes on this side of the field. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see again at the castle. We got 2 of the 3 buildings done. And we are starting on the 3rd building, but we're only like halfway through the steps. Seems like we should be 2/3 of the way through the steps. And yeah, I haven't seen, I'm sure someone has posted videos on building the castle and the windmill and has shown off the final product. I don't watch those type of videos because I want to see for myself as I build it here. I don't want to ruin it for myself. Although I probably should have looked. Has anyone found out, I know the question's been asked here a couple times, but as far as the coal goes, has anyone figured out, can we do something special with the coal other than buy it and sell it, which does make me wonder why even add it at that point. Why would they put it into the game? Unless they're going to be bringing something out in the Season 2 pass that we need coal. Alright, let's go ahead and just park this here. Let's get into our truck. And we'll go grab... Alright, well the Massey Ferguson is right here. Let's go ahead and bring this back and we'll grab the truck. I didn't use that much lime here, but at least the field is good to go. You were told when you've got done building the castle, there will be a crown in your wardrobe to be put on. Okay. I wonder if it tells you that when you get done building the castle, or does someone just find that out just by going into the wardrobe? Be cool if you need to deliver coal to the train. That's how the steam comes out. I mean, maybe that could be part of it too. I didn't realize until the other day that it was a steam train. But when the steam train went by, there was no steam at all. Any contracts? So again, we're just looking at there is a plowing contract, but for 3,000, not worth it, and that's pretty much it. Now hopefully we got a good amount of fish food. I remember checking at the end of yesterday's stream and we got about 7 or 8 pallets. So at about 2,000 liters apiece, we should have like 14 to 16,000 liters of fish food. Give this Massey Ferguson spreader a good wash before putting them away. Spreading lime does tend to get the vehicles rather dirty. Oh yeah, I did look. Yesterday after stream, I'm like, oh, Farming Simulator 25 had an update. Didn't read what the update was for. But see if it fixes my floating cattle. It's one problem I had. The other mod that hasn't been updated for a while is the Real Dirt mod. I don't think it's actually working currently. Wish that one would get kind of fixed. I always love that mod. Why does my guy always grab that pressure washer? Alright, let me go put the Massey Ferguson in its shed where it should be. Alright, now we'll go grab the truck and go grab the fish food. And yes, I do, like I said, need to cut down some trees, get the wood to the sawmill this month. Thought you saw ATS got an update or patch. That might have been part of my download list that happened yesterday. Which reminds me, I gotta record an episode for Sunday. Which is usually, I record ATS on a Friday night, but the way I feel today, I'm not sure that's gonna happen. It's like a lot of fields need to be planted, a lot of barren fields around us. Well, they look barren. Maybe they did plant them. The crop just hasn't germinated yet. Well, we get to see the steam train go by, and yeah, no steam whatsoever. Maybe it's a thing to where if you rent the train on this map, maybe you need coal to rent it. That'd be kind of interesting. It's like, yeah, you can rent the train, but you're gonna need coal to run it. Oh yeah, we got more fish food out here than I thought. So we might have pretty close to 20,000. Is that still running? Fish food. Well, just barely. Got 342 liters of soybeans left. That's not going to create another pallet, though. So we got what we got now. But this is not a bad amount. And of course, this year we're going to have a lot more soybeans. Well, yeah, that's what you would need to run a steam train, but I don't know if either of that is a thing in the game. I'm guessing probably if you rent the train, you don't need anything. But when they introduced Silver Run Forest in 22, they had the mine to get the metal, and we had to make the metal rolls, and we needed the metal rolls for the roller coaster production. So makes you wonder, what are we doing with the coal here on Highland? Hello Thomas, welcome, hope you're having a good Friday. Appreciate you stopping on in. So again, I don't have the fish food on distribute because I don't want the fish food going out to the offshore production. Even though that would increase the amount of adult fish that we get, I want it to all go here because we need more fish in general. Alright, we'll go to the stonemason, but along the way I will top this off with some diesel fuel. And we'll get the stone products delivered up to the castle. Get through town here. And then we'll get back to planting our onions. And the final step would be to bring the wood to the sawmill. I think this is the only place on the map to get fuel. I mean, it's not far. It is kind of centralized. I take that back. There is a fuel place down here in town. So there is one in the village, if you will. Oh, there's also one over here next to where you rent the train. Oh, that's electric charging station. What is that? That's an electric charging station. So, just one place to get fuel? Yeah, the only place to actually get fuel. The rest are electric charging stations. Coal under high heat and pressure makes diamonds. I don't think they would go that route. Kinlaig is not a big place in real life. Well, I mean, technically the map is not... I mean, we get around pretty quickly here. And we got more. Oh yeah, we got plenty more. We'll see if the castle takes all this. But it should be about, I would assume, about $20,000 worth of stone products out of here. And kind of the good thing about the quarry and the stone production, since we already own it, I don't actually have to spend money to put stuff into those productions. It's just water into the quarry gets this big stone, and the big stone gets made into castle stone and roof shingles. And as we have seen, the quarry does not really need a whole lot of water. On day one, I saw 5,000 liters they held. I'm like, oh, that doesn't seem like it's going to, you know, it's going to go through that pretty quick, but that pretty much lasts a year. So if you haven't seen my castle yet, like I said, we are on the third and last part of the castle to be built, but we're only halfway through the steps. And yep, did not take everything. So now I'll leave this stuff up here. But in the future now we'll have to sell the stone and the roof slate somewhere else. So yeah, we're on step 36 out of 65. And this is what it looks like currently on this building. These two buildings I would assume are done. Unless they're going to want wood to make doors. Don't know. Alright, let's get back into the T8050 and get our onions in. Well, I do need to check on the cows, make sure they got enough TMR. I'm going to say they do. I think we fed them at the end of last stream, but... So yeah, if you didn't, if you are somewhat interested and maybe didn't see it, Project Motor Racing video went out today of some in-game footage. They have released some other information about other cars that are going to be in the game, but I've just been doing the in-game footage stuff. So we've done a little bit of racing here recently on the channel with Forza Horizon 5. I know it's not, a lot of you aren't here for the racing stuff, but some are. And maybe we'll get some more viewers here in the future, but when Project Motor Racing comes out, I'll probably be streaming that for like 3 straight days or so. And I'm looking forward to that a little bit more because it's more the type of racing that I'm kind of used to. And I do hope that they have like a championship season so you can, you know, run for a championship, earn some points. I definitely will be racing out some tracks that I'm not familiar with, so that ought to be interesting. Just have to see what the game actually offers when I get access to it. Now, hopefully I can use my steering wheel. Even though I use the Xbox controller on Forza, I think a racing game like that, I probably want to use a wheel instead. Just hopefully my wheel is compatible with the game. My lovely G27 wheel. It's showing its, well, so I shouldn't say my wheel is actually showing its age. But yeah, they haven't made the G27 wheel for many years now, so it's going to be to the point of the games are not going to be compatible with it. I do believe I turned the truck motor off. But as I said, I'm not really with it today because I'm not feeling the best, but I may have left the truck running. If I did, that's fine. Keep the engine warm. I got to use it here in a little while to go bring the wood to the sawmill. Oh, I could use a coffee. I prefer Dunkin' Donuts coffee, though, so if that's what you're grabbing. Some cream and no sugar. If I didn't live out in the sticks, I'd be getting Uber Eats to deliver me a coffee now. But nobody comes out to where I live. Which I love, but that's the downside of it. Is getting deliveries out here. Alright, just about done with the onions. At least for planting. Now all I can think about is having a Dunkin' Donuts coffee. Well, maybe after the stream I'll take a cruise on over and get one. Yeah, I may have to have another look here. I think when I go over to the sawmill, I think I'll go in fly mode. We'll have a look at the land where the windmill is, just to get a better idea of it. Because it does seem like it's rather expensive to buy that land and get the windmill and not be able to do nothing with the land. I guess you could probably plant trees there for the sawmill because it's not that far. But for the way I want to do it, I don't want to be planting trees there. And that is our onions planted. Make sure we get our 8.4 liters of seed out of here before I return it. Watch it spit out the seed to the left, not the right. Okay, behind. Whatever. Yep. Vehicles. Nope, not farmland. Vehicles. Leased. And return. Alright, so instead of tabbing through, I know the truck is up here at the castle, so let's just go ahead and enter. Yeah, the engine is off, but yeah, if you get too far away from a vehicle and you left the engine running, if you don't go back to it in a certain amount of time, I think the engine automatically shuts off. So yeah, no more stones or roof plates going up to the castle for a while. We're gonna go back to the farmyard and get some trees on here, and yeah, we'll be using super strength. I don't have the brain power today to fiddle around with the wheel loader, try to get the trees on here. We'll be using the wheel loader once our oak trees have grown. Yeah, it's kind of a shame that there's no steam coming out of the train. Because it would look so cool seeing that train going over that bridge and seeing the steam coming out of it. I haven't looked at the forecast to see if we got any tornadoes in the forecast at all this year. Now let's have a look at the forecast. Well, August. We'll have a tornado in August, apparently. So last job for the month of March is get the sawmill some wood. And I'm hoping by July or August, our oak trees will be ready. And then we can just use our wheel loader over there and not have to deliver them on a semi. Oh, that got rid of the whole tree. Oops. I mean, luckily I'm not short on trees over here. But yeah, that's something we want to do. Twice today you sold your stuff. I was going to fix it. I mean your equipment? Just trying to get rid of the limbs so it's easier to see when I load it on up. Don't have to delimit all completely, but get most of them. Try to find the tall trees here. Double tap that. There we go. Get rid of the limbs. Your tractor and your planter. Let's get rid of this limb here, hopefully. Let's see, we'll cut down this one here, because why not? Okay, let me, that probably need to be cut, actually. Alright, let's load up the ones we cut and see what the semi looks like. Gonna try to get max load on there. Actually, this can probably go right there. I'm a burly lumberjack picking up logs like this. Why can't I pick up that log? Why? There we go. Yep, now it's just all a mess. At least once I get one set on, I just push up the log to the other one, and that should stay stable enough, I hope. Yeah, these trees look like they're huge, and they are, but the problem is, with pine, they don't actually hold a lot of wood in them. So that's why we have our oak trees. They're much more of a harder wood. I think I may have pushed that other log just off right there. Came in a little aggressive. Don't I have another one somewhere? Oh, right here. Currently 20,000 will get us through the month. I'm trying to make my trips count. That's still on there, isn't it? Let's see, we got another really good one here. This one right here looks like it wants to go. And this should do it for the month, I hope. And take care of the limbs. Sometimes delimbing a tree works rather well, and sometimes you really gotta fiddle with it to take care of the limbs. That one strapped in, and hopefully I can find a nice place for this one to settle. There we go. I think they're all on there. That could cause a problem, though, couldn't it? Well, if it does, we'll take care of it in a little bit. Is that above this? Whoop, is that above the stack or below the stack? Looks like it's below the stack, so it might cause an issue. Most of my turns are left-hand turns, though, so we'll see how it goes. Alright, so we got our onions in, get these delivered. Just double check on the Highland cattle, make sure they got enough TMR. And then we can go to the month of April, where we'll cut the grass fields and start making some more silage. And then this grass field here is going to be converted over to a soybean field. long as no bus comes around the corner. Don't want to meet buses at corners. Well, also, when we wake up in the month of April, we should only be just barely in the negative on the money. By a couple grand. Alright, yeah, just about out of wood, down to our last 1,000 liters, but now we got 31, so all that will last about a month. So not a whole lot of time there. Yeah, so our Highland cattle, how are they looking TMR-wise? They are fine. And they got plenty of straw as well. Yeah, slurry, we're just maxed out, but I don't have any use. Well, I have use for slurry manure, just I don't have the equipment for it. Let's go ahead and go on home. We'll visit Walter close enough. Oh yeah, the sale page. What's in the sale page? Nothing. All right. I think I'm all set. Just going to go ahead and hit sleep and just roll with it. So yeah, just a couple grand in the negative. So can't lease anything, can't hire any workers until we sell some stuff. We'll check the sale page. All right, we got a Can-Am from the Highland fishing expansion, but that kind of stuff is never what I need on the farm. Not my style. All right, so our onions, as we can see, they have grown. And should be no weeds here. I do need to fertilize it in some areas, though, so we got to take care of that. But that field is looking pretty darn good. Let's start off by cutting one of the grass fields before I move on to something else. Because we got 2 grass fields to cut. We'll do the smaller one first because I want to get the environmental score up in that field before I sell anything. And one thing I will never have to worry about in this series now is running out of silage additive in our forage wagon. So with April here, I'll have to check on the wool price. It should be pretty good. So while this is unfolding, again, just a quick look, you'll see our score in this field is not the greatest. It's a 61, but in a second it should jump up to like the high 90s, I would think. Waiting for it to lower. Okay. And again, just by harvesting grass now with good fertilizer and pH. Okay, got up to an 87. Probably will get a little bit better once I get more of the field done, but that's a good jump in the score. We'll have a look again when I get done with it. But all this grass is going to be going to the fermenting silo to make silage. This field usually gives us about 150,000 liters of grass. The other one's going to give us probably like 420,000, I think. Last time it gave me like 440, but I think the pH value is down quite a bit in that field, so it might not be as good. And then this will be our lone grass field moving forward, which this grass field is more than enough for what we need on the farm for feeding the sheep and the Highland cattle. See if we get near up to 160,000 liters out this field now on this harvest, because I took care of the nitrogen and pH value should be pretty close to what it requires. The last few harvests I've been way over on fertilizer, and then the last harvest I was under, I think. So I'll have to lease our planter, which I think is going to cost me like 10 grand. Because I don't own a planter for the soybeans. And I think we'll just get the Kenzie planter again because I need one. That's a direct drill. And pretty much our options are the Kenzie, or there's one that's like really a small-ish kind of a planter for the size fields that we got. I do not want to be using that. That's 110,000 liters that we got. Sometimes because I'm streaming and I'm always talking or reading chat, I'm not really listening to the sounds of the game that much anymore. Did not realize the amount of songbirds that we have for background noise. And yeah, we have seen, I think only in one stream I've noticed it, I have seen a couple of deer. But other than that, during that one stream, that was it. I think it was over where I cut the trees down for the sawmill on the farmyard. We saw a couple deer running around, but we don't really see them in the fields like I have on other maps. So after this, we'll grab our semi. We'll have to go sell some stuff. We'll see how the castle is doing. Maybe I can get some of that stone and shingles into the sell area. But everything from the sawmill and stonemason, I guess, will go down to, I think it's called the logistics center. So yeah, we hit 160,000 liters with a properly fertilized and lime spread field. And it looks like the score went from a 61 up to a 90. I'm surprised the fertilizer isn't a better score, but that's what you get with using a spreader. It's not going to spread it evenly across the field, so I didn't get the exact amount in some areas, even though I kind of covered it. It's just the way it is. That's where using like the pulsating modular on the sprayer would come in handy. All right, into the fermenting silo. Okay, let's get over to the sawmill, because that's where I parked my truck. And let's load up this stuff. So yeah, this time we just have 1 month worth of stuff, so doesn't look like as an impressive load as it was last month. I think that was 3 months worth of stuff last time. And we got 15,000 liters of wood left in the sawmill. For a minute I saw that first street, whoop, kind of hung up on the building here. Saw that first tree and I thought my oak trees have matured all the way. I was like, that seems kind of early. Well, these trees are what, 13? They're at 17.6. I think they need to be at 17.9. I don't think they're quite there. I think they got one more stage into it. You may say, well, what's another 0.3 meters? It's not the height of the tree, it's the width of the tree that's going to change. So now I'm going to the stonemason to pick up that material, and we'll go sell it at the logistics center. Oh yeah, I want to go, or at least have a look at the land up here. That road that goes straight ahead. That's the one that goes up to the windmill. Just want to have a look at the land to see what we will be buying at some point. Won't be today unless I magically somehow get $500,000. Why won't it load that? Let's try restacking. There it goes. So the windmill is up here. And yeah, you can see it's kind of steep to get up there. So even though you're buying all the land, I think we get all these trees. It's not really a place you can plow and put in some farmland. I mean, you could find a slight way, maybe to get a small plot of land there, but really, access to it would suck. So basically, you're buying it just for the windmill and the trees, I guess. Yeah, it'd even be hard to put down another production building up here. I mean, it's somewhat flat here, but it's not a big space. And you could probably flatten out this if you wanted to, put another production in there. But yeah, $500,000 for land where you just want to build a windmill, I guess. Alright, let's go sell this stuff. I don't care about the pedestrians in the road either. And also, someone did mention in a comment, they must have been watching it after the stream yesterday, but they said we could buy the BGA for our manure and silage, slurry. Silage, too. But yeah, that BGA is 1.8 million. And I really don't have that much slurry manure to process through there and get my money back on that BGA. It seems like they have raised the prices of BGAs in FS25. Of course, you can always get yourself a modded BGA. So I don't have too much stuff on here, but I would hope it'd be like 20 grand worth. Actually, probably closer to 25. Okay, a little bit better than that, almost 35 thou. So that gives us some money to buy, or sorry, lease the planter. I'm just going to park the truck here. Now, before we do the planter, since I didn't go up to the castle. Where are we here? Castle. There's the castle. Seems like work is getting done. Let's see if they will take some stone up here. Oh, they took one. Oh, they took two. Oh, wow, they must have went through a lot of stone since we last sold up here. Oh, wow. How about, no, okay, so shingles. Which makes sense, they haven't done any roofing. But it looks like the stone, they've gone through quite a bit. My guess is it holds 36,000 stone, because they hold 36,000 roof shingles. Okay, so now we're up to 43,000, which is great. Yes, so planters is what we need. And we're just going to get the modded Kenzie down here. And Don't remember what that does. I think there's an option for rollers, right? Tank cover. Colors I don't care about. Capacity. Seed only. I only need seed only. Okay, this I don't care about either. I thought I could put rollers on this. Oh well, I'm not going to worry about it. Lease it for 10 grand. 8,820. Seems like it's less. I must have changed something. Alright, we need the Massey Ferguson for that. Nope, not. Get out of the T8. It's an add-on. I just didn't see it in the options there, but I'm not too focused today. Some would say I'm not focused on most days, but today even less than usual for myself. So we'll go plant the first field of soybeans down at the sawmill. Then I need to cut the grass in the big grass field before I can put the soybeans in there. And then yes, I do need to bring some more wood down to the sawmill. So I do not need fertilizer because we're going to be planting soybeans. And soybeans do not require fertilizer. It's not on the machine. I must probably get it mixed up with the FS22 mod, where the planter had the rollers on it. Actually, let's cut across here. I want to grab this one pallet because that's the one with like 8 liters of seed in it. Am I not close enough? There we go. If I remember, I didn't go through that much seed last time, so I think I'm just going to use the seed that's here and not fill this all the way up. So we're probably going to triple our soybean harvest this year. Hopefully no bus coming around the corner. Oh, I should be looking at contracts as well, because I got my couple of tractors just sitting around the farm doing nothing. If we can find a plowing contract or something for them, get them to work, maybe bring in a few grand here and there. Hello, Crystal, and hello, John. Welcome both. Hope you guys are having a good Friday so far. While we're waiting for that to unfold, let me go see on contracts. Plowing for 5,000. Where is that? I feel like I just plowed that field. And that is it. Well, I'll think about that one. So yeah, this is definitely going to help out our fish food production for the next upcoming year. Because we went from where this field is now, you can see what we harvested last year, to the addition of this field, and along with the other grass field that we got to do, going to have a lot more soybeans. And soybeans may not be my problem. It may be I won't have enough flour. But the oak trees are looking good. Like I said, hopefully by July they'll be at full growth and we can just bring our wheel loader down here, cut them with a chainsaw, and use a wheel loader to get them into the mill and really stuff that mill full so we don't have to take care of the wood as much. But I am going to activate prefab walls and planks so we can make more profit from the sawmill. Better now that you can sit down. Must be you've been having a busy Friday, Crystal. So yep, after this we'll get the other grass field cut. I may need to put some lime down into it as well. And then we will plant our soybeans over the grass. Ready to say, did I get, I don't think there was tram lines in this field, so I don't see, kind of forgot to check on that. I'm pretty sure if I saw the tram lines, I'd be like, oh, I gotta get rid of that, but It looks like there are no tram lines here. This planter seems to be actually a good working width for the fields that we have. So once I get enough money at some point, because it's not my priority to buy a planter. I got other priorities first. But once we get to there, we'll probably end up buying this planter here. Or who knows, maybe it'll come up for sale after leasing it. Couple more passes here and one little patch at the other end. So yeah, should double our soybean harvest in this field alone. Oops, helps if you lower the planter down, because that's how you get the seed into the ground, sir. There you go. Alright, we'll just follow the bus, I guess. Nah, I think the bus is going to take a left-hand turn up here somewhere. After this field, there's a left-hand turn. I think this AI traffic type bus goes to the left. Or maybe I already went past that road and he's not going to the left at all. Yeah, I'm really not with it today at all. I'm just going to go ahead and park this over here for now. Because I really don't have a place to park it over there. Back into the mower. Nope, still got the floating cows. It's funny that they don't float right away, and of course one has escaped apparently. When I log in, they're not floating right away. It seems like after we skip a month or two is when they start to float. Wait the half a month for the mower to unfold and lower. So our third cut of grass out of this field before we put the soybeans in. That's what we bought the field for, but with 3 grass cuts and making it all into silage, got a good amount of my money back on the field already. So we should get a full forage wagon and then some. The grass is at its full harvest stage. Didn't think I'd get 2 cuts of full harvest, but we are. So the one thing I really haven't looked at, because I'm not really, other than bringing the fish food to the young fish production, I'm not really seeing how much trout and salmon we have to sell when July comes. I think the first year we had about $150,000 or $170,000 worth of fish. I'm hoping this year we got a little bit more. But next year we should have a lot more, because we'll have a lot more fish food. I wonder if I'll have enough fish food to actually run both productions. So let's see, work I got left to do this month after flipping this field over. Got to fertilize half of the onion field, and we got to bring wood to the sawmill. Oh, and I need to also check on the price of the wool, so got to check my stock market page, see what the wool's doing, and we'll see how we're doing on fish. Not going to sell the fish, but I'm just saying I'm kind of curious what we're up to. Well, the Kenzie planter I was using, Bob, that's a modded one. And in FS22, I'm not sure in 25, I haven't looked. But in 22, you could also get one that would go like 60 miles an hour while planting, which was just insane. Wonder how much, we got 2 fields in between this one and our cereal crop field where we use that for making flour. Wonder how good, because these 2 fields that we have, or the fields that we have purchased down here, have pretty good soil into them, so I would assume those fields there might have some good soil in them. Might need that for making more flour. This is going to be one of those adjustments that you always have to do in a production building that requires 3 ingredients. You're never going to have them to where it's perfectly matched. You're always going to have one that's like, oh, I don't have enough of this. So you adjust that, and it's like, now I don't have enough of this. Canola oil, we should be fine. It's not using that much canola oil as I thought it would. But as for soybean and flour, I think those are the main ingredients. Your Kenzie can go 30, 31. Sound realistic? Miles an hour? Or... I didn't think it went that fast. 15 miles an hour, but if it's kilometers an hour... At least this is the mod I'm using anyways. This one does 30. So you must have gotten the one that does the potatoes, popular, long grain rice, and sugar cane as well. So that one does the 30. So we're up to 230,000 liters of grass so far. No surprise, really. So we'll probably get the Massey Ferguson in here with the brittle spreader, put some lime down. While that's going on, we'll be doing some other work. Alright, let's go bring this grass over, and we'll come back and finish this off. Sam has been roaming around this part of the farmyard all day. Let me just make sure that this is active. I mean, it should be. I don't think I turned it off. Let's see here. Hey, straw, silent. Wait, where am I looking for? That's what I'm looking for. And yes, it is active. So, yeah, apparently we're going to have a twister here in August. At least that's what the forecast says. The barley and canola... Well, the barley would be harvested. The canola should be as well. It's just our soybean fields that will be in danger. Let's see, 34,000 in the bank account. The wool, probably not going to get that much, but may get us up to like 40,000. Seems like a lot of dust coming up from underneath the mower. I have a lot of silage to sell in the next couple of months. Actually, if I look at... It's been a while since I've looked at this kind of a thing, but if I look at precision farming, I might be able to see how much money I've made off of this field. Well, no, it's... because I didn't sell the grass as grass. I put it into a production, so I don't think it's going to show me the profit I've made technically off the field. I think it'll give me the price of the grass I took off of here. Kind of forgot how that works. Well, it says I have earned 14,000 off this field, but I think that's taking the amount of silage, the amount of grass I got off this field, and would sell the grass as is. Why is it not? Well, yeah, I haven't planted. Well, why doesn't it show me the soil sampling, the lime I put down? Since the last reset. What was the when was the last reset? So I just put fertilizer and lime down last fall. Not sure how that works. What is considered a reset? Well, either way, it's the last time I'm cutting grass in this field because we're converting over to a soybean field. So the first load, obviously, because it holds 260,000 liters, and we already got 120, so that's 380,000 liters of grass so far. Actually, the Massey Ferguson, I forgot, that's on the planter, so probably fire up the JCB and put lime in this field. I haven't used the JCB yet today. So we are at 400,000 liters of grass off this field on this cut. Don't mind grass work, but it gets so repetitive after a while because you do it 3 times a year. Earns you quite a bit of money. But we need the soybeans. I think that Highland cow is trying to get back into the pasture and can't find his way in. Let's go ahead and park this up. Why do you feel like you're lacking horsepower? If you're using base game equipment, you're only going to get that planter up to 6 miles an hour. That's the working speed of the planter. It has nothing to do with how much horsepower you have. Until you start using modded stuff, you're not going to get faster. Like the planter we're using is a modded one. Should double check to make sure that field does not need any soil update before I put lime down. Let's see if that needs any soil update to it. Nope, it's fine. It's definitely going to need some lime in that field after 3 cuts. Okay, let's get ourselves a course. 18, 1 tool, number of headlands 2, overlap 7. And about 15 minutes from now, that will be done. We're going to grab our other JCB and go put fertilizer in our onion field. Which I only got to do half of it. But we will top off with fertilizer. Nope, not diesel. No, on Kinlaig you can have any of the cattle that's in the game. Just that the Highland adds the Highland cattle to it. So I'm probably over-fertilizing the onions in the center, but that's not much I can do about that. So I got a mixed field of stuff here. need to go over to the outer edge. I should have narrowed the working width. So I think the sensors were sensing where I fertilized. So that is, I just dropped off my weight by accident. Let me pick that back up. Fat fingered on my steering wheel, the button. All right, let's pick that back up. Well, the working width I want, like something like that. Is it not going to get the right amount of fertilizer in this field? It says it's bad, so why? Oh, it's not going to probably accept anymore because I just fertilized it. Yeah, I can't put a second layer down. Alright, well, that field is, yeah, last year's harvest is causing me problems. Alright, what we're going to do is jump into the Massey Ferguson. And we're going to start planting on that field because I think the bridle spreader is going to keep up with us, I think. And also it doesn't matter, the bridle spreader, if I get ahead of it, which I could, will still put down the lime that it needs. Alright, goodbye grass field, hello soybeans. And again, we don't need to put down fertilizer because soybeans don't require any with precision farming. Soybeans actually in real life put nitrogen back into the soil. I think I got enough seed to do this whole field. Yes, the small building at the castle is fitted. We're at the last building. I think like halfway through yesterday's stream, we moved on to the last building. I think last time we were up there, it said 38 out of 65 done, or whatever it is. Actually, we've been up to the castle a couple times today. Yeah, we just don't take the wood products up there because last time I went up there with wood products, it was full. And now with the stone stuff, it can't take any more shingles, but it can take some castle stone. So we really don't need to be bringing anything up there as of right now. But the castle is still being worked on. The only thing about soybeans, though, without putting nitrogen in the field, it's just going to screw up our score a little bit, but not much we can do about it. I need the soybean. If you're asking if this is the Kinlaig map from the Highland expansion, yes it is. So we have kind of caught up with the Bredal spreader, so I'm going to plant on this side of the field. And we'll meet in the middle at some point. And when we do, I'll go to the other side of the field. Don't want to stop my worker from doing what they're doing. Alright, they're going to continue on over there. We're going to go now on this side. So again, we're doing a lot of soybeans because that's what you need to make fish food. And the first couple years I haven't had really enough. We got enough flour, we got enough canola oil. It's the soybeans that we're lacking. But we have, for this year, pretty much, I would say, maybe triple what our soybean output would normally be. And again, I'm not really sure I'm making a whole lot of money on the fish. It looks impressive when I'm selling the fish. But if I were to take all the products I'm using or harvesting to make the fish food and so on and so forth, it's the profit, I would say, where it's, you know, it's not fully as good as it appears. But again, if I was playing on normal, easy economy, the profit would be that much better and probably worthwhile. Again, probably after I leave Highlands and we go somewhere else, I will probably not do any of the fishing stuff. I may use a fishing pole in a river now and then, but that'll be for like about 5 minutes or so and I'll be done with it. Fishing to me is like when horses came out in It's fun for a little while, but after a while, it's like, no, I'm done doing that. We can go out and do something else. Do I lease equipment in contracts? It's very rarely that I do contracts. I'm doing contracts here, but I'm using my own equipment for that. And I'm very picky what contracts I do. Right now, I just do plowing contracts because I got a modded plow, and fertilizing contracts, and herbicide contracts. All the other contracts I do not get involved with. Come on, Frank, get a move on. I didn't know you were going to back up a little bit there. There, let me get you turned around a little bit. There you go. All right, let's go unload this seed and we'll return this planter. Someday, we'll have one on the farm, I hope. The soybeans are in. Just 2 pallets of seed, so that's not bad. Last year I had tons of seed coming out of this thing. Alright, vehicles, leasing. Whoops. That's the only thing we got leased. So those 2 fields will have weeds in them next year. Sorry, next month. Next year. Well, it's a long ways off. Next month. Alright, into our semi, because we got to go ahead and get some wood into the sawmill. Lift the semi down here. There it is. But yeah, let me just go ahead and see. Wool. The wool actually needs to be sold. The spinnery is... I do remember the spinnery is. So, trout, we're up to $42,000 worth of trout, and salmon, $51,000. But we are in April, so we got more time. And we just put the fish food into the young fish production, so we'll get some more salmon and trout to be sold. Hello, Wayne. How are you? Let me get around that car. So it's going to look a little weird, but we're going to load up the wool, and then we'll stack some lumber for the sawmill on top of it. Let's go grab the wool, and then we'll cut down a couple of trees. We're going to be able to make that corner. Yeah, we got plenty of room-ish. And just a few trees to get us the month of May. I mean, I'll have to bring more in May over, but don't have to bring too much. Hello, Adam. Welcome. I am also getting very close to the border of our property down here. A tree like this will get rid of the stumps, I hope. Oh, sorry, the limbs. And let's see, this is a good tree here to cut down. Just because I want to get rid of this is going to do. Alright. Back with it. Put your chainsaw right into that metal of the low loader. Always good for your blade. And yep, going to use super strength to get it on today. I'm not feeling the best to try to use the wheel loader to get this stuff on. Do you want to cut this again? I think so. Actually, let me strap that one in. Alright, then this one can go on top of those. Do I not have another? Oh, I was ready to say, where is it? There it is. Let's see here. We'll grab another tall one. But we're only about a month or, well, maybe a couple months away from our oak trees being full growth at the sawmill. And then we'll be back to just be using the chainsaw and the wheel loader to bring the wood into the mill. Yeah, our work has been done for a little while spreading the line, but you can just sit parked over there for a bit. We go ahead and strap those in. I was like, where's the third part? There's the third part. All right, to the sawmill, and then we'll go to the spinnery to sell the wool. How much wool do I got? 9,200, and wool goes for what, like about 1,000? It's not too bad. How far down from your farm does the border go? Where I'm cutting those trees, we are getting awfully close to the border. But on the other side of the road, towards the map's edge, we own that as well. So I got a lot more trees I could cut at the farmyard, but our oak trees are just about ready. And I won't have to take anything more from the farmyard. It'll be just cutting the oak trees down by the sawmill. And as I cut those trees, I need to replant trees. And I'm not doing the sawmill anymore now for the castle. I think I got plenty of wood for the castle. I'm doing it for the profit so I can help pay back our like $7.5 million more I got paid towards the bank. Yeah, those oak trees are looking good, but they're just not quite there. Alright, that got us up to 30,000 liters, which is good enough for about a month and a half. Now the spinnery is, I think, that building right there on the other side of the river. Is it in here? Question is, which sell point Yeah, it's got to be the one right here, because that says Kinlaig Wool Mill. So this should be where we need to sell it at. Hard to see because I got the worker there, but I got a $1,000 environmental score bonus. 11,300. Caught it just in time. Had to get rid of the course plate worker notification that the worker was done here. But yeah, with the wool sold, the soybean fields, grass fields taken care of, everything taken care of, I think I'm done with April. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else we got to do. Other than check on the Highland cattle, make sure they got enough TMR. And the sheep still now have gone through all their hay bales I put there. Or sorry, grass bale. I think those are grass bales. They haven't gone through those grass bales yet. That grass bale's from day one, when we cut the grass where the cow barn was. I will check the sale page just because. Well, there is a wrapper there. Not that I need it, but that would be good for like doing contracts, but... Oh, speaking of contracts, I'll have another peek. It's got to pay very well. $5,000 for fertilizing. That's not bad. But since I don't have any other work to do this month, a couple of plowing jobs, not bad. Oh, weeding. Is that herbicide? No, they want me to use a weeder. I would have done that one. But no, none of those. Oh, yeah, the cows. Yes, they need some TMR. We'll grab the T8.